compliments. I got a lot of praise to know that I got a holler just to be heard with every word. I drop knowledge. I'm a diamond in the rough, a shiny piece of coal. Trying to reach my goal, my power, speech unimpeachable. Only 19, but my mind is older. These New York City streets get cold at my shoulder. Every burden, every disadvantage, I learn to manage. I don't have a gun to brandish. I walk these streets famished. The plane is the fan that spark into a flame. The day was getting dark, so let me spell out my name. I am the A-L-E-X-A-N-D-E-R. We are meant to be a colony that runs independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps shooting on us endlessly. Essentially, it attacks us relentlessly. The King George turns around and runs a spending spree. He ain't never gonna set his descendants free. So there will be a revolution in this century. Don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. I will lay down my life if it sets us free. Eventually, you'll see my ascendancy. And I am not throwing away my shot. Thank you guys for indulging the performer in me. All right.
Well, does not pass up the chance around here.
If you got it, fine. Guys, on Friday, July 1st at 11:53 p.m., I received a text message from Brian Carter, and it said, "This shit is happening." Text me in the morning to work out the details, but we're doing this thing. And I was already asleep at that point because I had to work Canton at 7 a.m. the next morning. But whenever I woke up, I was instantly awake, and everyone who knows me knows that I'm not a morning person. But I knew that we were going to do something incredible, something that most people only dream of doing. See, Brian and I are both obsessed with the hit Broadway musical Hamilton.
Yeah, we are.
How many fans of Hamilton do we have out in the crowd?
All the cool kids.
Like 4. Okay, awesome. That whole part was for you. The play tells the story, the incredible story of the life and death of one of America's founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton. For the past year, this musical has been a sensation. Ticket prices have gone through the roof, and it won 11 Tony Awards, which is a new record. So a few months back, Brian and I made plans to take a trip to New York to go see the show in November after the state fairs were over. The only problem was that we soon found out that the original cast was going to be breaking up on July 9th. So even though the ticket prices were in excess of $1,000, I could not say no to this. So we decided that we were not going to throw away our shot to see a piece of history. I knew that unless I saw the original cast perform, I would never be satisfied. So we decided that we would take a break from work on July 7th and fly non-stop to the greatest city in the world to be in the room where it happens. We couldn't wait for it. We knew that seeing the original cast perform one last time, only that would be enough. We also knew that we would be telling the story of that night forever. So for the rest of you non-Hamilton fans out there were about 10 Hamilton references in that. So that was basically Gino and Tristan and Brian. So in non-Hamilton terms, Brian and I took a day trip to New York City to go see a musical on Broadway, like just because. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it's something that I will never ever forget for the rest of my life. So what is the Vector opportunity? It's being able to drop everything and fly to New York City for less than 24 hours to go see a Broadway musical. Because why not? You want to know what type of people get to do that? Mark freaking Cuban. Billionaires, guys. Of course, we were flying on Virgin America, not a private jet, but I'll take what I can get at this point. The Vector opportunity is having the freedom to do what you want, when you want, and do it with awesome people. The song that I played for you is one of my favorite songs in the entire show. It has a lot to say if you really listen to it. Alexander Hamilton achieved some incredible things while being very young. He was put in command of his own battalion at the age of 24. He was appointed to be the nation's first Secretary of the Treasury when he was 32. He wrote 51 of the 85 essays that comprise the Federalist Papers. He established the New York Post, the United States Coast Guard, and the U.S. financial system. And when he was a kid of only about 19 years old, not that much older than most of you, he decided he was going to help start the greatest country in the entire world. You see, he was sick of where he was. He was sick of where he had been stuck for so many years, and he was determined to create something better. In the song, he says, "Every burden, every disadvantage I have learned to manage. I don't have a gun to brandish. I walk these streets famished. The plan is to fan this spark into a flame." Boy, did he do that. He was not going to throw away a shot at creating a better life for himself and a better world for the people around him. The cool thing is that because of people like Hamilton and all the other founding fathers, every single one of you has the opportunity to make a difference in the world just like they did. And to be honest, you have better odds than they did. Think about that. The opportunity that you have is the opportunity to change the world, or at the very least, change your world. So I'm here to tell you today to not throw away your opportunity. As some of you guys know, I haven't always been great at this job. I've been through some rough times. I've had more no sales than most of you have had demos. Thrown away a lot of opportunities. I've made a lot of mistakes. And I even got to the point where I quit this job multiple times. But I keep coming back because I know that there's no other job on the planet that would give me the things that I wanted like this job will. I was sick and tired of not living up to my potential. I was tired of not having the things that I wanted. And I was tired of living in a way that made me feel like I was just taking up space and not contributing anything to the world. So when I finally made the commitment to this job, and more importantly, the commitment to myself, things totally turned around for me. Up until then, I was just waiting for things to happen and doing nothing to actually make things happen. Guys, this job has given me so much. It's given me financial freedom. It's given me the ability to graduate college debt-free. It's given me the greatest friends in the entire world. It's given me motivation to see my potential and a vehicle to reach that potential. So today I'd like to ask you 3 questions and also give you 3 or 5 challenges. So when Brian and I went up to New York, we had purchased tickets for the 2 p.m. show on Thursday. I had called the theater long before we had purchased the tickets to make sure that Lin-Manuel Miranda, the writer of the show and the star in the title role, was going to be performing, and to make sure that the rest of the cast was going to be there too, because that's why we were going. I was told that there were no changes to the cast list and that everybody was going to be there. But when we got to the theater, I discovered that Lynn was not going to be performing and that 2 of the other main cast members were not going to be performing either. And it kind of sucked. The majority of the main cast was still performing, and it was still an incredible show worth every penny and still an incredible story, but it wasn't what I had come for. After the show, Brian and I were getting food and discussing the show, and we'd also purchased tickets to Les Mis that night because it was right next door to Hamilton, but Brian could tell that not seeing the show with Lynn was really bugging me. He told me that I needed to go see the show again. And I started looking online at ticket prices to see if I could make it work, or to see if I could even find a single ticket to the show. I was on the verge of just giving up on the notion when Brian said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, "Stephen, this is why you came here. Pun intended, do not throw away your shot, but this is why you are here." And I think that is a question that we all have to ask ourselves. I ended up buying another ticket, spending $1,700 on it, and going and seeing the show at 8 p.m. And damn if it wasn't worth every single penny that I spent on it. I don't regret it at all. But that's the first question I want to ask you. Why are you here? Why are you here on this earth? Why are you here working at this job? Why are you here in this room right now? I think it's a question that we need to continually ask ourselves from time to time. Why am I here? What is my purpose? One of the great things about this job is that it gives you the opportunity to find your purpose. One of the best things that ever happened to me was discovering what my purpose was. So my purpose, just so you guys know, is to bring joy and happiness to the lives of everyone that I come in contact with. The funny thing is that I didn't really so much discover my purpose as I was just able to accept what I had really known it to be all along. You see, my parents and teachers and school and really the world had taught me for my entire life, with good intentions, mind you, that I was supposed to grow up and get a real job that would pay the bills. My dream was, and still is, to become an actor and be in the movies, but that wasn't realistic. So I needed to find a real job. I still get asked sometimes, so when are you going to get a real job? And the answer is never, because they don't pay as well and they're not as fun. Woo! Guys, I'm 23 years old. I'm about to be 24 here in a couple weeks. I'm 2 credits away from a degree in theater, and I'm on pace to make over $100,000 this year.
Yeah. Wow.
While working towards my dream job. See, the world is going to tell you to follow your dreams, but they don't really mean it. I get asked, what's your dream job? And I say, world famous film actor. And they come back with, what's your plan B? And I say, knife salesman. And they say, what's your plan C? I don't know, Dad. Like, I don't have one. Because I'm not going to settle for less. The world is going to tell you to follow your dreams and not really mean it. But the cool thing is that Vector is going to tell you, follow your dreams, and then follow that up by asking, how can we help you get there? Because we believe that you were not put on this earth to just pay bills and die. The second question I have for you stems from something I heard Lin-Manuel Miranda say about Hamilton, and that was that Hamilton was a man who changed the entire world because of the strength of his writing. He started off as a poor bastard orphan in the Caribbean, working as a clerk for a shipping company. He was the secretary and right-hand man to George Washington. He wrote to defend the Constitution through the Federalist Papers. He wrote the financial systems of the United States into existence. Throughout the play, he's constantly asked, why do you write like you're running out of time? So the next question I have for you is, what skill do you have that will change the world? It doesn't have to be something big or profound. Mine is that I have the ability to make people laugh. And that feeds right into my purpose of bringing joy into the lives of others. This job has really helped me cultivate that skill. My goal is that none of my customers have an interaction with me in which they don't laugh. This job will bring out skills in you that you didn't even know you had. I mean, did you guys know that the guy that created Uber started selling knives with us? He has completely changed the entire transportation industry over the past 2 years, and he started right here. I'll tell you this much, I cannot wait to see what some of you guys create. This is going to be awesome. My third question comes from one of my favorite lines in the song. It's really one of my favorite lines in the entire play, and it's something that's repeated multiple times. Towards the end of the song, Hamilton says the line, I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. I think that that is incredibly powerful because I've learned that if you want to achieve your goals, you have to visualize your goals. That's why we make these stupid goal thermometers that we show our customers. That's why we create vision boards. That's why I have a freaking picture of me wearing a Rolex as the background on my phone. Because you got to visualize your goals. So the question is, what do you imagine so much that it feels more like a memory? For me, I imagine winning an Oscar, a Golden Globe. I imagine being on the late night talk shows with Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert. I imagine the red carpet at my first movie premiere. I imagine signing autographs and taking pictures with fans and making their day. What do you guys imagine so much that it feels more like a memory? So those are the 3 questions I have for you. Now I want to give you a few challenges going out into the fall. Number 1 is to figure out what you want in life. In order to get what you want, you have to know what you want. I mean, that's why goal setting is the thing that we learn here that's so important and so valuable to your future. Now, figuring out what you really want in life, that can take you a long time. It took me over 3 years in this business to figure it out. But once I did, it's been so much easier to direct my focus in service of those goals. Only once you discover what you really want and what the destination is, does the path there start to reveal itself. You know, I use my phone as a GPS to get everywhere. You can ask Calvin, he rides with me all the time. It's a big crush that I have. If I didn't have maps on my phone, I would never get anywhere outside of a 2-block radius of my house. And so whenever I'm done with an appointment, I'll pull up the directions to where I'm going next, and sometimes my phone will be being slow or it won't load right away, but me wanting to be moving, I'll just take off and go and wait for the map. I end up making a wrong turn, getting farther away from where I want to be. So if you don't know where you're going, then you might end up farther. I'm trying to get in shape so that one day I'll be chilling on the beach and all the girls will be thinking, damn, I want to bake cookies on his stomach. It's so freaking hot. And now that I know that goal, I can take the steps to get there. Woo! So challenge number two, guys, is to learn to navigate obstacles and create balance in your life. This is a kind of a two-part challenge because I think that both of these are extremely important. I'm going to give you a dose of reality. The world does not give a damn about you sometimes. It will feel like the world is actively trying to destroy you. Has anybody felt that before? Yes, everybody. There are always going to be obstacles between you and what you want. You can imagine it as a straight road as much as you want, but it is going to curve, and you are going to have some flat tires along the way. You can plan out every single detail, and something will always go wrong. I guarantee it. You just got to learn to roll with the punches. A perfect example of this played out in the second show of Hamilton that I went to see. Towards the end of the show, Hamilton and Aaron Burr are preparing to duel each other to the death, and they're writing letters back and forth to each other. The choreography of the show is such that the extras would move the desks and chairs with a lot of showmanship, a lot of presentationalism. So one of the extras was moving a chair, he swings it over his head, and he brings it down at the desk, but it comes down at the wrong angle, and the leg breaks off the chair, and it just starts rolling away. And being a theater kid, I know that is an oh shit moment if there ever was one. But perfectly in character, Lin-Manuel Miranda walks over to the desk, wiggles the chair, pushes it away, and starts writing the letter like nothing happened. One of the extras takes the chair and perfectly in character moves it away, and another one swoops down, picks up the leg, and takes it off stage. It looked like it was rehearsed that way. I don't know how they did it. It was amazing. Guys, Grant Cardone says, have so much going on that no one disappointment any longer disappoints you. At the beginning of the summer, my house burned down, and I'm still having the best summer ever by a lot. The weekend that my house burned down, I sold $2,700 worth of Cutco, and the week after that, I sold over $3,500. Don't let it get you down. The second part of this challenge is to learn to find balance. Now, how many of you know someone that works so much that they never have time to relax? And how many of you know somebody that sleeps in so much that they never get anything done and they're a bummer to be around? Yeah. Don't be either one of those persons. Find the balance. Balance is super important. I'll tell you guys a quick story to really illustrate the importance of balance. When I was a young lad of about 7 or 8, we had chickens at my house. Now, at this time in my life, I had become a Christian and had just been baptized at church, and I was super excited about it. So one day, I took it upon myself to baptize all the chickens in our little pop-up pool. So I go chasing after the chickens one by one. I take them over to the pool. I dunk them in. Now, I've seen it done so many times at church that I know the process, okay? It was in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, buried with Christ in baptism, raised to walk in the newness of life. Welcome to the church. And they go off squawking, and I'm like, hallelujah. And that's how it goes. Now, I had dunked about 3 of them when my little brother Aaron came over, and he's about 1.5 years younger than me, and he decided he wants to get in on the baptism too. The only problem was that Aaron did not understand the subtle nuances of chicken sanctification. Okay? So Aaron's chicken was not raised to walk in the newness of life. Aaron's chicken went to meet Jesus a little bit sooner than we had planned. You see, I knew that as a good Southern Baptist, you had to fully immerse the chicken or it wouldn't work. Sorry, John, I know you guys do the sprinkling thing. But I knew that if I held the chicken under for too long, then, as Aaron so eloquently put it as he went crying to my mother, it won't hold its head up. It was hilarious. So I learned a couple things that day. Number 1 is that chickens can only hold their breath for about 3 seconds. And number 2, everything in life requires balance. So my third challenge is very short and it's very simple. I won't spend a lot of time on it. My third challenge is be decisive. Right or wrong, make a decision. The roads of the world are paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make up their mind. If you sit at the crossroads of life, trying to decide which way to go, you're never going to get anywhere. Don't be a flat squirrel. Fourth challenge comes from another one of my favorite lines in the song. At the climax of the song, Hamilton declares, "I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately jobs where they get paid minimum wage." Don't do that. Never again in my life will I work a job where I get paid hourly, because that is somebody else telling me what my time is worth and what I'm worth. And there's only two people in this entire universe that get to tell me what I'm worth, and that's God and the dude in the mirror, and both of those people have a pretty high opinion of me. Guys, I know that this might not be the right job for you long term. I mean, I know that some of you have higher aspirations, even I do. But whatever you do in life, don't settle for less than what you are worth in any single area of your life. Don't throw away your shot at the life that you want. So I had to go to a funeral recently for a guy in my church, my hometown, and I, like most people, absolutely hate going to funerals. But I felt like I needed to go and pay my respects because this man, even though I hadn't spoken to him in years, had had a profound impact on my life. And while funerals aren't fun, it did get me thinking, and I've come up with a theory that I believe that you can quantify the impact that you've had on the world by how many people show up to your funeral. One of the overarching themes in the play focuses on legacy. In his final monologue, Hamilton says, "What is a legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see." I wrote some notes at the beginning of a song that someone will sing for me, "America, you great unfinished symphony." So what will your legacy be? What notes will you contribute to the song? Last year when I gave this talk, I talked about the Ernest Hemingway quote that says, "There's nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self." I said that 2015 Stephen was vastly superior to 2014 Stephen, and that 2016 Stephen was a badass, and I couldn't wait to meet him. So looking back on that, I was totally right. 2016 Stephen's pretty awesome. And now I'm looking into the future, thinking past tomorrow. All I can say is don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. If you led at this job, we'll take you to some incredible places. So figure out what you want, learn to battle the obstacles, find that balance in your life. Be decisive, make every single action an act of creation, and do not throw away your shot.